Sheldon Thunstrom, who is an EMT, paramedic, and instructor at SAIT, has agreed to sit down with us for a short interview. Thank you for coming. First question. How did you find yourself teaching at SAIT?
Well, I came from a teaching background. I used to teach up at Portage College up in northern Alberta in Lac La Biche.
Can you explain your hardest day as an EMT?
Hardest day as an EMT. Hardest day. Well, that's often dealing when you're working in rural areas, dealing with the 24-hour shifts. When you're up and expected to be your best for long periods of time can get quite tiring, and the fatigue does set in.
How soon do your students end up in field work after graduating?
Most of them, if they want to work, they're pretty much employed immediately after graduation.
What should people know about the ER that generally people don't really know?
Well, the ER, there's a lot of downtime on occasion. The ER is, depending on where you work, city versus urban versus suburban. You know, it's a different flow to what you get in. But whether you're working in any area, the calls and the patients tend to be the same.
Is there a common type of scene that you're regularly called to?
Well, drugs and alcohol, and the abuse of that. Everything from, you know, the typical average SAIT student who overindulges on a weekend and, you know, has a little bit of alcohol poisoning or has gotten themselves into trouble because they just drank too much and potentially consumed some recreational pharmaceuticals, and you know, just makes things interesting. So we see a lot of abuse of substances.
What was the craziest situation that you've been called to?
Craziest situation? Well, out of a motor vehicle collision, we ended up transporting probably 23 people out of 2 vehicles. So, you know, far more people than there were seats.
How did you get started in this field?
I didn't want to be stuck in an office. I really enjoy helping people. You know, it sounds quite, you know, pre-arranged that people say that, but ultimately, you know, to be out helping people, interacting with people, meeting new people, is really quite interesting.
It is obvious that future EMT students are in very good hands with Sheldon's wealth of knowledge in the field.